Queen Seven Spades. This is The Groove Show with your boy, the crowd pleaser, DJ Mark Anthony. Don't forget, each and every Saturday afternoon from 4 to 6 p.m., we want to put you in the mood for whatever the night has in store. I'm playing only the best feel-good party rocking, body-shaking music from funk to soul to reggae to R&B, house to salsa, and much, much more. We call it The Groove each and every Saturday from 4 to 6 p.m. Keep it locked. It's the crowd pleaser, baby. You know how we do. We'll see you on the air. Peace.
Attention all musicians, bands, associations, clubs, and organizations that represent collective styles of music across Canada. Now is the time to rebuild our collective music nation genres like hip-hop, R&B, jazz, soul, reggae, gospel, and more united. The Collective Music Nation is a non-profit organization committed to the development of collective music. Free memberships are available now. The Collective Music Nation. One voice, strength in unity.
Need a personal shopper? Christmas, Boxing Day, and New Year's is just around the corner. Show up in style. I'll do the runaround for you so you don't have to. Contact me, Delicia Henry, your personal shopper and stylist, at bchic.notbougie@gmail.com.
You're listening to iLive Radio, changing the way you listen to radio. iLive Radio.
The number one hit music station.
You have now reached your destination. Welcome to the EIP Lounge. Everyday, interesting people.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the EIP Lounge. I'm your boy, Mr. I Am, and I'm here with my family.
Yes, sir.
First Lady Shay, finally in the building, y'all.
Yeah.
And you know it's your boy, Rooms. Yes, sir.
And it's your girl, Miss Jareen.
Yes, sir.
All right, so today we're going to be talking. We all have seen it and heard it across all different types of platforms about, you know, the whole thing that happened with Will Smith and Chris. So
yes,
it's kind of like, what do you do? Like, what lengths do we go to like, you know, defend our significant other's name? You know, do you think that maybe he went too far, or do you think that his actions were appropriate?
Right, so let's get right into it.
Let's get the conversation started.
Let's get right into it. I find that the internet divided. You know, there was a lot of people saying, yo, he was right. And of course, and you know, Chris deserve a box. For those of you out there that don't understand box means slap.
Like what Will did, yes.
Chris deserved a box for that. And you know, he shouldn't have said those things. And then you have the other half of the internet saying, you know, Chris was wrong. Sorry, Will was wrong. There is maybe better opportunities to address the situation. And I'm on that side of he was wrong.
Who was wrong? Will?
Will was wrong. I can understand, you know what? Let's not even say I can understand why he did it. He was wrong. He should have not addressed the situation that way.
Right.
Yeah, of course not.
Right? You should have addressed the situation that way. And it's almost like, you know, you look at Will Smith, someone who you think is smart and, you know, composed and gathered. Mm-hmm. And it's almost like he was punishing himself. It's almost like you're doing something that you know there's going to be
the repercussions.
Yeah, repercussions and consequence. And you just decide to go and do it. Like, let me just go and punish myself today.
So, like, well, once again, we all seen the video. It seemed like, I just said when Will's defendant, like, he was all for it. He was like, yo, mom joke. And then he turned around and he saw Jada. And Jada was like,
So what are we thinking kind of happened? You sound like you're getting at something, Rooms. What do you think happened? What do you think was that changing moment for him to kind of like...
Oh, he's whipped. Will's whipped. Simple as that. Because my thing was that, like, yo, like, Jada's been doing her thing. So Jada just like, yo, be on mine. Right? And Will's just like, oh my gosh, you cheated on me when August, you really wanted to be with Tupac and da-da-da. So Will's just like, you know what? I'm going to show you, and I'm going to show in front of the world what I can do. Right? But if I was Chris, I would have done like a two left duck and then an uppercut and be like, "Yo, Jada, you ready to go home with me?"
But you see the difference is though is that Chris was not punishing himself. Chris have sense. Chris is like, I'm not going to retaliate.
Yep.
If I
And he
retaliate,
just
then
left
I'm in
it
the
as
same.
is.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat as this man. You know
but,
what I mean?
But in the flip side, right? Everyone's like, "Yo, Chris, yeah, nutty punk, bro. Like, yo,
No,
you got
Chris is
punk hard."
smart.
No,
But
he's
smart in which way, though?
intelligent.
Because my thing is, I believe he'll be smart if he's just like, "Yo, okay, cool, you boxed me. I'll wait till later." You know what I mean? And I'll sue you. But now this guy's not even suing him and not getting nothing from it, and you got boxed.
Well, but don't
What
say
do
he's
you
not
mean?
getting nothing because now his I don't know if his shows were
He's
sold out
obviously
before,
getting
but
hype.
What was he
he's
getting?
getting hype.
He's getting
right?
hype.
From who?
He's getting hype from everybody. Like his name is on everyone.
but-
Yeah, like
but
even
it's
if
Chris
his
Rock,
name,
though.
if
It's
it's
Chris Rock.
yeah, but I mean, remember, people die out over time, right?
Yeah.
And so
But
he's
Chris Rock, really?
it's sort of
Yeah.
kind of.
because of
You think he's dying out?
You know
Apparently
what? You
his
know
tour-
that whole like no publicity or no bad. What is it?
and there's no such thing as bad publicity.
Yes,
All publicity is
exactly.
Right.
But and apparently his tour is now sold out. I guess it wasn't prior, but is now sold out. You know what I mean?
The
From the
hype.
one slap. So I think Chris was smarter. Definitely Chris is smarter.
Listen, yeah. So about the whole thing, going to your point about Chris, actually, I heard on the radio that when he went to Boston, he got like a 9-minute standing ovation.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Because people are
And-
commending him.
And then he started off his joke saying, "How's you guys' weekend?" You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So I mean, Chris.
So what, he has to change up his whole material now? Or
No,
like
he
what
said he's not
No.
going to. He said he's not going to. I think he made the statement that he already has a bunch of jokes ready for his tour.
Yeah, he
Chris is not stupid.
Okay,
His
okay.
team is not stupid.
Okay, okay.
I mean, why not? Why not just like leave that? Like
Yeah.
he'll probably bring it to like
Right.
partial light,
Right.
You know, just to address it. But to be honest with you, he can use it that at a later date for
And it'd still be hot.
exactly.
So let me go around the room, and it doesn't matter if you're man or woman. If someone comes up to you and give you a swift box,
It's
what
just
would
my
you do?
natural reaction to box
okay,
you back.
let me say. So you're saying you're boxing that person back on live. You're boxing them back.
It would be instinct.
It would be and for me,
So, Dreed.
it would depend on my situation. Chris Rock is a celebrity. He has sponsorship.
Okay, you're a celebrity.
Yes, so I'm a celebrity.
Yeah, but
and
he's
someone who has
defending
sponsorship.
himself.
I don't know. I wouldn't know in that moment. I don't have an answer.
Right.
because
So
I
just
have
like
to
Chris
think.
Rock, you get boxed, you're like, oh wow.
I might not show my ass and box back.
I'm not gonna lie to you. Just I think personally, off of pure instinct, I would do it. But if I had a second to think, I probably wouldn't do it right there. I would definitely.
Mr.
hit you
Ian,
on
what
the
would you
other
If you're asking just me as Miss Jareen, then
Okay, but I'll tell you mine. Mr. Ian, what would you do?
Okay, so for me, if I was Chris, you mean
yeah.
it will get handled. Not right there, but it will
okay.
get handled. And I know because I've talked to people over the week, especially the Mandem, and they would say they would deal with the case right there, right now. I'm a type of guy. I'm just waiting for my moment. So it will get handled though, guaranteed. It will get handled. But I mean, remember there's commercial breaks, right? 3-minute commercial breaks. How long is the fight? About 3 minutes. Yeah, that's all I need.
You would just deal with it during the commercial break.
Commercial break.
So with me,
Confirm.
with me, I don't care about commercial break. I don't care about nothing. If the man them try and box me in front of everyone, everyone's going to see, that man getting floored. And it's not going to be, I'll just box you. No, I'm going to keep on pounding until
fight.
security come and grab me,
So-
grip me up and
Why
bring me
would
on,
you?
and I'll be like, yo, hold that.
Why would you do that?
Yeah,
knowing
that's
that
a little
everything is
too
at
much.
risk.
I'm just
What's
saying
at
I would
risk? If
probably
anything, there's a risk on both
self-respect.
parts, right?
But you
So
still-
what? He's going to sue me, I sue him? And he hit me
no.
first? Then what?
No, I think sometimes.
Well,
it's
my
different
parents
in these
always
situations.
said that if somebody hits you first, then you have all right to hit them
back.
back.
No, but okay. So let's break it down like this. You are sponsored by, like, say, Nike or whatever the case may be, or any other big corporations, right? You're there. You get smacked, right? Knowing that you're bringing food home. Would you?
But when's he sponsored by?
Who, Chris?
Chris Rock.
Chris has a few sponsorships.
Yeah.
I've seen him in a few commercials.
Yeah. So
And he has
when I-
some buckets.
He has
in there.
Everybody Hates Chris and all that stuff. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
All
he
that
has
shows,
some
okay.
buckets.
Well, I mean, and he also
He's
has
also
corporate,
done some stand-up since then.
He has some corporates.
Okay.
Sponsorships.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
my point is that what would you do? Would you just say, okay, just to let everybody know that I'm the man, you're gonna box
Put all those things
or
at risk.
hit a man and then lose everything because
You
that
know
man
what?
disrespect
You know what? With me, I'm crafty just like Will. So after I'm done and box him and do whatever, I'll go up there, I'll cry, I'll hold a little speech, I'll be like, oh, and I'll apologize to everyone that I kicked his ass, the whole words, and don't apologize to him. And then just be like, okay, cool, and big props to the Williams family and Ray, and please watch my show. Everybody hates Chris. I'll do promo. I'll do everything.
Yeah, but you, remember, you just said that you would have fixed him with the 1-2s if you were Chris, and if you got boxed, you said you would give him the 1-2s.
And then he just saying
And
that
then
he
I
would
will
give an
jump up
apologetic
and I'll do
speech.
apologetic speak, just like what Will did.
Yeah, no, like no,
It seemed like he covered. Will's trying to cover his ass, and then want to bring in Denzel, want to bring in everyone to be like, "Yo, yes, he did told me this and that." You know, the devil's working. Come on, is everyone
But I
believing
think
that
I
hype?
think we even have to look deeper, right? So you know, we all see Will Smith as this guy who's very composed and you know what I mean, very intentional with things that he does with his life and his movements. And you know, we laugh at the August thing. Yeah, he cried around the table. You know, it was a joke, which I feel like we were a bit insensitive to that also. But anyhow, really always kind of thinking ahead. He is a brand. Fresh Prince is a brand.
Yeah.
Will Smith is a brand.
Yeah, he is.
So what was it that made him
Like lash out.
lose his? It's and it seems like it was just a few seconds. Because if you look at the clip closely, he did laugh. The joke was made, and he laughed. He even, I think, clasped his hands, put his head down, and laughed. And then you seen Jada roll her eyes, and I don't know what she said to him in that 10 seconds. But what made him lose his mind? What do you think it was that made him just lose his mind?
I feel like, especially if you think about just what happens in their household, you
Yes.
know what I'm saying? And I'm not one to follow all this type of stuff. So
Right.
like, I don't entirely know,
Right.
but from, you know, hearing people say certain things, like there's just a lot going on in their house, and it's just a lot that I think might have been a buildup.
Right.
Like, you know, I don't think that this was just a one, it wasn't just, because she said something, I snapped. I think there was an underlying something.
Issues.
That-
There's a lot
yeah.
of pressure. I do agree. I think there was a lot of pressure.
From
I think
2019.
in that moment he was thinking,
Like,
you
how
know,
do I defend?
I let August slide, and people made fun of me, and
Yep.
you know, and it's split second decisions, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, I just feel like, you know, again, that he punished himself doing that. But I also feel like as a woman, if I see my partner about to do something real stupid, I'm gonna try to stop him.
Of course.
You know what I mean? I feel
I don't
like,
want him in trouble.
you know, that's the moment where she would have.
Okay, hold on. It seems like we do have a caller calling in right now. So we got this caller. So caller,
Hello.
you there? I know you should be hearing us right now.
Hello, caller.
Hello.
Caller, can you hear us? We're doing well. How are
doing
you?
well.
Can you hear us,
I was
caller?
calling before and nobody was trying to pick up.
Yeah, sorry. You know, we got a little distracted.
Caller,
Like,
can you give us your name and where you're calling from?
My name is G.
Okay.
gee, so what do you think about this whole thing going on? You have like a minute or two with this whole. What would you do if a man them come up there and box you on stage in front of everyone?
Staged or real, nobody's boxing me in my face.
Okay, so what would be your
Not happening.
reaction? Right? Like,
My reaction?
Yeah.
He's getting a box right back.
Okay.
Sorry.
Now, would you have been Will Smith? Would you have reacted the way that, you know, he reacted to Chris? Or do you think that that was not the way that you would respond?
I think Will Smith is soft for doing that.
Okay, so then let's hear what you would have done.
Well, I don't think it warranted a slap
Okay.
in the face. I think if anything, he should have went on stage. And if it hurt his wife that much, he should have said, "Hey, I apologize to my wife. That's very disrespectful." As a man, I think, and in all honesty, looking at him, he was actually laughing and chuckling
He did.
until he looked at his wife.
Yeah.
Until he looked at his wife, and he probably knew he didn't want another entanglement. I'm sorry. He said that. He didn't want another entanglement, and he said, "You know what? he started getting emotional. And with being emotional, he reacted instead of
So that he
and then
like
anything
lashed
else.
out. Yeah.
Yeah. So, if you ask my personal opinion, I really think it was staged because there was no security guards, there's nobody there. But nonetheless, staged or not, it looked really bad for black men.
Yes.
It was. It
Like
was.
how
It
we
was a
can't.
set.
I think it's no matter if Chris didn't do nothing, the fact that it even took place, it's a step because then we're teaching, and I don't think they're even teaching us as adults. It's them teaching the youth saying, hey, it's okay to do that.
Yeah.
It's okay to lash out. Like, I think Jada really did a number on Will.
I agree.
I don't think Will has, I think Will has no type of manhood in him at all. I think he lost his masculinity in this situation. And I think he was trying to gain it back. And with him trying to even do that, that didn't help him gain anything back. He just took even 4 steps back.
Right.
Right. So, and like in that situation, it's like, what do you do? And that's if you have that same energy for Chris, why didn't you have that same energy for August? Like, and I understand that they have an understanding. Like, you know, they have an open relationship, open marriage where they can sex who they want to sex. And that's cool. But that doesn't mean that nobody needs to know in the public that that's where the respect is, right? You both are okay with it. He likes watching you get plowed out. Okay, no problem. But the world doesn't need to know that you're sleeping with Tom, Dick, and Harry. Like, you know what I mean? Nobody needs to know that. That's nobody's business to know that.
Right.
Right. And the fact is, and I know that Will's sleeping on his wife, but I haven't heard any females come to Jada and say, "Hey, I'm sleeping with your man."
I think
But I'm hearing beard.
I find Jada's almost like Delilah. So Delilah in the Bible, was it Delilah? Who cut off Samson's locks? Was it Delilah? Yeah, Jada's like a Delilah. You know what I mean? Like she's I feel like she's gonna be the ruin of Will. But caller, thank you so much.
We never did get where you're calling from. So where are you calling from, G?
I'm calling from the 6th.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you, G, from the 6th. Thank you.
Have yourself a lovely
We appreciate it. Thank you.
Any more callers, please call in. Give me your thoughts.
All right. So, in the meantime, you know, like, how would you guys have handled that if somebody had called out your wife or your husband? You know, I want to know, what would your reaction have been? Would you have done the same thing that Will did? Because we talked about the stance of like, oh, you know, if I was Chris, this is what I would have done. But would you have reacted the same way Will did if you were put in a similar situation?
Absolutely not. I do believe, however, I feel like if my partner is, you know, being disrespected in some way, just as myself, I don't feel like I'm obligated to defend them, but I would want to defend them.
Yeah.
Right? Because of how I feel for that person. But I definitely would not
physically assault someone.
Well, no, you know what? I'm not going to say I wouldn't. I wouldn't physically assault someone in that manner. Like, if it warranted it, I wouldn't do it in that manner and in that moment. Hopefully a situation like that never, you know, arises that I have to do that. But I wouldn't have gone up on stage and done that. I probably... Will's a comedian too. Will could have gone up during his speech and said something. You know what I mean? And just done Chris in one moment. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's something that
because he has the skills to be able to.
But I definitely wouldn't have gone up stage and at a show like the Oscars. And, you know, I know there's been conversations about Black people and the Oscars and everything, but nonetheless, it's still the Oscars. So I wouldn't have gone on such a platform and done that. No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like, I personally don't think I would have assaulted somebody right in the middle of, like, in television.
Yeah.
Because, you know, you can't undo something that's already been recorded, guys.
Yeah. It almost reminded me of Uncle Ruckus and Boondocks when they have that nigger moment. The nigger moment? Yeah, that's what it reminded me of. It reminded me of that nigger moment where I'm just like, oh, no, now what? You know what? Now they have more stuff to say about us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like, when caller said that, set us back, right? It made me thought, like, is it because it's just the wrong timing? Because this is the first time the Oscar had like the black director doing it, the whole works, and then all this is happening. Do you guys feel like, guy, why now? It seemed like you just literally ruined it for the black director for this and that.
Personally, like I think for real, if you really think about it, like he was saying, is what are we teaching youth, right? Like you get rich and you can just punch people in the face on television. You know what I'm saying? Like what is it that that we're teaching them? And I definitely agree with G in that regards. It's like we have to think about, especially young, urban men growing up. This is all men really, but I speak for my own.
Of course.
So it's really like, what can we, that could have been a teachable moment.
Yep.
And it wasn't. It was a teachable, ignorant moment.
Exactly.
And so, I mean, could we have handled that? Oh, he have handled that differently.
Absolutely. I was waiting all day for it to be a joke. I was hoping all day.
When I finally watched it, I thought it was a joke. Everybody's been talking about it.
I was waiting for the next day to see him and Chris on a show somewhere, laughing and saying, we really got them. When I realized that it wasn't, it
wasn't quite April Fool's Day yet. He had a couple more days.
Well, it's weird because that's what I think everyone thought. So when that happened, they're like, oh, this is part of the show. You know what I mean? And then after, they're just like, okay, he seemed like he was serious. And then after, as Dream was saying, to be like, okay, next day, someone's going to just come up. They're both going to be on Oprah and be like, Right. You know what I mean? But really, it's just like, no, never happened.
And it goes back to even like what G was saying, there was no security. And I questioned that to someone. I was like, how come there was no security? And the person's just like, it's Will Smith. Which security is going to run out and stop Will Smith? You know what I mean? They're thinking it could be anything, So it's like, oh, Will's coming up on stage.
I mean, yeah, you definitely know. I don't think anybody was thinking that was going to happen. So nobody's going to run over to
stop Will. Yeah. It's Will Smith.
It's not like some crazy fan or something.
Exactly.
Like that.
So no one was going to come.
Yeah.
No one, because that was my question too. How come there wasn't any security? What would you do, Mr. I Am?
If I was Will?
If you were Will.
Yes, and that situation kind of happened to you. Would you have handled it the same way or?
Like I said, Will, man. Like I said before, I because even with my partner, my wife, I know for a fact she would have stopped me.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And on top of that, I would turn to her and say, you know what, honey, you're right.
Mm-hmm. Sounds like
however,
your clone.
however, this situation will be dealt with.
Right.
Period.
Right.
And I'll leave it as that. So if it's during commercial, if it's during the after party or whatever.
At some point.
Because I think for me, what I was kind of surprised earlier this week, because I was talking to a couple of my brethren, my brothers, like, my friends, and most of them said that, like, it was warranted what Will did. And I'm saying to myself,
so do you guys really think what he said was that, like?
No, I don't. First of all, if you're a celebrity, it's open season.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? 100%. I think it's open season. So you got to realize that people are going to say things, right? He never addressed her alopecia, right? He never directly went to that. He just said G.I. Jane. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I don't think it was warranted. I'm going to bring it back to Jada, because Will clapped, Will laughed. Will was like, ha, 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 ha. Right. He thought it was funny.
Right.
Until Jada rolled her eyes, and whatever she said in those 10 seconds, and whatever other burdens he's carrying, whatever other stress he's carrying, and just made him click. You know what I mean? Because it wasn't warranted. That joke, Chris Rock has done worse. I've heard worse.
And it's funny because he even said it too. He's pretty much like, that was like Chris Rock was like, that's like, no. And then Will comes like, Will's coming. Like, you know what I mean? Or I don't even think he said Will. He said something else is coming. I think he said Mr. Williams coming like the Will played the part. And then Swift box. I was like, wow, that's crazy.
But
I have a question, right? So right now, as you guys were saying, you're like, okay, like how Chris handled it. Now he's getting standing ovations where he's at, or Ray, whatever. Obviously, some people's like, yo, Will shouldn't have done it. Other people's like, yo, good for you, Will, Ray, and whatnot. I guess obviously there's no charges being made because I guess Chris is like, no. I believe the Oscar Academy or whatever is pretty much looking into an investigation that might take away the Oscar from Will. But my question is, and think about this really hard. Say if that was a white person that got boxed.
Oh, from a black person?
From Will. So Will went up there and I was just like,
no.
What do you think would have happened?
They were tackled immediately. I don't give a damn that is. I don't even give a damn that it's.
See, this is crazy, but why is that though? Why is that? Like, why do we?
Because
get
we
the
know that
whatever,
there is
or this and that?
we know that there's certain types of privilege. And at the end of the day, two black people one black person hitting another black person does not hold the same weight, unfortunately, as if a black person hit another or had hit a white person. We just know that. I mean, we don't really need to have this conversation. We know that that's not a thing. We know that, blacks against blacks is okay. Mm-hmm. We know that any sort of violence towards someone else who's not black, especially a Caucasian person, is likely going to end up with a very different outcome.
Very different ending. Very different ending.
So just imagine like the white people that's actually at the Oscars was just like, so you have like
they were probably shocked as hell.
You have like them top like actors and actors, and they're just like,
it's a nigger moment. That is what they're thinking. Look at those black folks at it again.
Right?
Can't carry them anywhere.
So this
and
is where
we'll even put that up the next day. Can't carry anyone from Philly and Baltimore anywhere.
Wow.
That's when he posted a picture of him and Jada. You know what I mean? So
why would he do that? Why would he do that?
Why would he do that? Can't carry anyone from Philly or Baltimore. That's what they're thinking.
That just means
too.
that you're just making sure that people know that it's a very ignorant thing that you're doing.
That you did.
Because literally at the end of the day, the word nigger is just meaning ignorant. Mm-hmm. So it's just that you're literally feeding into that same persona that they want you to fit at this particular time.
That they already
instead of trying to get behind it and trying to be like, maybe what I did was wrong. I could have handled it differently.
Right.
You can't be doing that
because
shit.
You see like now like you could say like obviously the white actors coming out. Obviously one big known comedian, Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
Right, where he's just like, yo, like if I was Chris, I would have sued this shit. I'd have won like 200 mil.
That's what
like take him to the bank. You know what I mean? And go from there like straight up. But like he was no joke, and I'm seeing it on like Jimmy Fallon.
I don't
I'm seeing
blame
it
him
everywhere.
though. I honestly I don't, even though I say that that's what white people do, I don't blame Jim Carrey for saying that, because at the end of the day, if somebody hits you,
you have every right to say.
Exactly.
Especially in the U.S.
Exactly.
Especially in the U.S.
So it's not wrong for him to say it. I just said that that's not necessarily what a black person would do.
Mm-hmm. So for Chris not doing that, do you think that gives other people like, yo, this guy is almost like a real G? Like he could have really sued, did whatever, but he's like, yo, you know what? It is what it is. Like I'm not suing.
I think he had his own mindset.
He has his own plan. Don't underestimate Chris.
I was about to say he probably got paid under the table.
Yeah,
like maybe the lawyers, everyone's just like, yo.
Remember, Hollywood they're all connected, right?
Right.
Everything is connected. So if I'm gonna say I'm not gonna work on that movie, that's Will's movie. I'm not working on that. Will is an investor, and the investor for that movie, not doing it. Do you know what I mean? So Chris has his own. I think he has his own plan.
I think from here on out, sorry, Mr. I Am, Will's going downhill. Like he's done.
I don't know. Think so.
I don't know about that. No.
I think he's been around for over 30 years. Yeah. He's not like somebody who just came out and
he can redeem himself. I feel someone like him can redeem himself.
I think people are gonna look at it. I think that he'll grow a lot more if he did, because if the situation, I just caught it literally earlier today, guys. I'm not gonna front.
Right.
So I don't really know the story besides what people told me, but I do understand that like it seems that most people think, oh yeah, Jada has a foot in this. Like it's basically her that that kind of caused the situation to escalate.
She have everything in this.
So if that is the case, then yeah, he loves her, but maybe he just needs to start reconsidering how healthy that is.
Yeah, I think Will can redeem himself. Will can definitely. It's Will Smith. You know what I mean? Like he
by
can
far.
redeem himself with the help of certain people in Hollywood. You see, if he has Denzel helping him out, he's good. You know what I mean? If he has a conversation with Jim Carrey,
well, there's lots of actors and
you know what I'm
stuff like that that have been in worse situations.
Yeah,
it's
and
just
he
that
can
what
redeem
he
himself.
did was very stupid. It's gonna last right now, but it is gonna die down. I don't see this being a big hype 10 years down the road.
No, I think so. And the only reason why, not as hype, as you said, Lady Shay, it's just more of when that Oscar comes up, everyone forgot about everything except for that. So, like, that took away from other people who maybe just got their first Oscar, like Will, the whole work, you know what I mean? Or other, where it's just like, yo, like, good for you, this and that. No, like, when you talk about that Oscar, whatever number that Oscar is or whatever, right? It's almost just like, yo, that's the Oscar. Will Box.
But how long do you think that will really last?
Oh, that's a lifetime. That's something. It's like a dunk competition.
Maybe
you have certain dunk competitions where you're
I
like,
think
yo,
it will last a long time,
you're
but
just
I
like,
think
yo.
he can come back from it, and I think even he and Chris can come back from it. You know what I mean? I think they could have a conversation, and
I think that they should have a conversation, just as two big people.
It will end up being okay. Like if they're smart, it's all about strategy. If they're smart, they will come together. They will do a movie. They will do a show. They will do an interview.
If they
will
did
do
like a
something
stand-up series
together,
yeah.
And their people are smart. These are two people with a lot of money,
and they've been out for 30 odd years.
Yeah, so whoever is behind them they'll figure it out.
Well, it seems like Will and Jada's gonna talk about this on their Red Table Talk, which I don't know about that. I think that's stupid because I'm like, now you want to kind of have a Red Table Talk of what you just did was right or wrong or whatever.
And I feel like
if they're gonna do the whole thing where they're going to say, "Oh, this is why you can't bring people up from Philly and Baltimore," then I definitely think that's stupid as hell because they need to get behind it in a way where they need to be more so apologetic versus like, "Oh, this is just who we are because this is the quote unquote hood in us."
Well, before we continue, I just want to let everybody know if you guys want to call in, the number is 647-847-8844. And I really want to hear for some of the ladies because some of you ladies are out there saying, "Oh, what Will did was so honorable," busting at Tiffany Haddish. I have a response to that. Go find work. Both.
Yeah.
Go find
See,
work.
I mean, some people
find work.
Some people find it very attractive for like their man to
find
go
work.
and attack somebody, but like I mean, realistically, that kind of I'm gonna say, and I know people are not gonna like it, you know, because people are not gonna agree with me, but that's a very hood mentality.
I would love to hear
that, like having to.
Okay, it seems like we have a caller.
Oh, did somebody not like what I said?
No, it seemed like it.
Hello, caller. Thank you for calling
Hi.
EIP. Who do we have on the line tonight?
And where are you calling from?
Hi, good evening, Tasha. How are you?
Good, Tasha. How
Good,
are
how are
you?
you?
Where are you calling from, Tasha?
I'm calling from Brampton.
Okay.
So, what are your thoughts on the whole situation here?
Well, loving the discussion. You guys are doing a great job. When it comes to the Will and Chris thing, you know, I definitely think, I don't know, I definitely think as a woman, I wouldn't want, I mean, this is an event to celebrate somebody's achievements, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Will has, you know, invested a lot in his position and in who he chooses to present himself to be. Even his book talks about, you know, he called himself weak in his book when it comes to fighting back or anything like that. And comedy was his way of easing situations. So what he did was so out of character from this person that he speaks about and tries to portray. So, I mean, I think it's unfortunate he did it, and I wouldn't want my husband to do that in a time, like, forget the fact that even if it was an all black situation and there were pure black people, you're dressed in a tux there to enjoy a night where you are being supported for your success, celebrated for your success. This is not the time for you to take away from that because that's all he did in the end.
Yes.
You know, I definitely think there's a coming back from it, but it's going to be hard because it's not going to be something people forget. Because he didn't, you know, if you would have hustled him back in the back and it would have been a rumor that people were talking about, that's one thing.
Yeah,
but
it's
you
definitely the
did
first
it, and
time
you
for something like this, too, right?
right, white, black, or indifferent, and you're in a professional setting with your peers. You know, that is not the time to be. I don't know. Maybe he's having a mental breakdown. I think a lot of the things. I don't think that weak joke, was what did it. I think they're breaking down, and this whole talk about the red table. That's been the problem for everything to begin with. So why are we going back 360 back to the red table? Maybe they're trying to take control of the narrative.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
They
And
should,
they're
though.
probably going to. Well, yeah. Well, you know what? It's always best to capitalize from the situation and hopefully, steer it back in your center. And I think they're going to try to come in a more centered place than arrogance, because then that centered place goes back to what they're both trying to present in their, in how they're marketing themselves. So I think it's going to try to be an opportunity to kind of, go back to that. I don't know. I hope so. We'll see.
Okay,
Yeah, I agree with you, and we really appreciate you for calling
Yes,
in. That
thank
was
you, Tasha.
great to hear your, your outlook on the whole situation.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Tasha.
Yeah,
Thank you for calling
thanks
in.
for having me.
All right, have a good night.
Thanks for having me. You too.
Yeah, I honestly agree with both callers. I think that, there's something kind of like underlying here that is, the bigger issue. Even before I watched the video, I kind of just assumed there's got to be something.
There has to be something.
There has to be something. Somebody just doesn't somebody who doesn't regularly act
out like
this.
that?
Doesn't just,
You know what?
wouldn't just randomly do something like this.
right.
So there's got to be something that's underlying. What it is, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's not my place. He only knows that.
You know what? I'm truly surprised that there's no one calling about defending Will and whatnot, because you guys had a lot of big talk. I mean, man and woman had a lot of big talk.
Big
this
talk
week
like what?
about what he did was right. I was like, everybody had a big talk saying, yeah.
Well, maybe they had time had to think about it, because now it sounds like everybody's on the team of nah, that was just straight wrong.
No, I want
And
to
I
talk
think
to
it's-
those people
no.
that had something to say.
And you know what
What
it
if
is?
they don't have to say that anymore?
I think it's understood as to why,
I want beef.
but it was
I want
wrong.
problems.
I think it was understood as to why he did it, but it was wrong. You know what I mean? I think that's what it is. I can understand you wanting to defend your wife,
Yeah, but there's ways
but
to
it was
defend
wrong
someone.
to do it. So those people who said yes, Will was right, are now realizing, yeah, you are
Maybe
right to defend,
in a
but
certain
not in this
perspective.
way.
Yeah.
647-847-8844.
But you go on like you can take on beef though.
Yeah. What?
Yo, can he misread
No,
that?
listen.
I wanna
We
know.
were
Can he
good,
take
you
on
know.
beef
We
really?
were good today. We were good today. You wanna go there with me? Huh, Chris?
Come on.
Huh,
Right
Chris?
now I'm Jareen, so I will box back.
And I will sue. 647-847-8844.
Stop.
Guys, talk to me, man. Let me know what's going on. But like I said before, you asked me what I would do. I said, there's a time and place for everything. You know what I'm saying? And I believe, I think I sent you Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's
statement.
response.
Right,
And it was
right.
very
What
powerful.
did it say? I like that. What was the response?
Did I send it to you?
You did. It was long.
It was long.
Oh,
But it was basically saying it's just setting us back.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And, like over the years, I've seen the Oscar shows and we always get like the crumbs, you know what I'm saying? Like the year that Denzel won his award and Halle
Right.
Berry for the movies that they won it for.
Right, exactly.
It was like,
Right.
Okay.
And for it to be this movie
Yeah.
about Venus and Serena's father, you know what
Yeah.
I mean? Who fostered these two beautiful women into who they are today. You know what I'm saying? Like a tribute to him
yeah,
and to have this happen.
yeah. Like,
You know what I mean?
it's
Like
just,
those are the things I'm saying. He was not thinking, and like we go back to it, it was something bigger. He punished himself. Jada should have stopped him, I feel like, but I feel like she was a bit of an instigator.
So the question is, would he have had the same effect if they stood up and laughed? Instead of just like yelling at Chris over, like, would he just have that the same effect.
What do you mean if they had laughed?
So in other words, like, you know how he laughed a little bit and then just stopped and then he went up there and boxed. So say if he and he went back to his seat and started cussing. So instead of boxing him, stand up and saying like, yo, yell and call it a day. Like you know what I mean? Like, would it still be
if he cursed them out without the box?
Right, without the box. Would it
there would still be an effect because Will Smith just cursed out Chris Rock. Yeah, but it wouldn't be. It's the violent part of it, right?
Right.
It's the violence. You know what I mean? That's what makes this such a horrible situation. But yeah, there would still be talk about Will getting up and cussing out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but it wouldn't have the same effect because at the end of the day, he didn't actually physically assault him. He was just, he was wild up. His emotions were high instead of, him actually because we're really saying that he lashed out because he did hit somebody.
Yeah. You know what? Flip the script. I like that actually. What happened if Jada went up there and boxed Chris?
Oh, wow. If she did, then we would be having a different discussion because then we wouldn't be talking about, he only did it because this and that for Jada. We would definitely be having a different conversation. Do I think she would do it? I think she would do something like that.
A little, yeah.
But at the end of the day, I think maybe just like everybody else said, and I could be completely wrong because, like I said, I don't follow this type of stuff, is more so, she was just kind of like, I want my man to, stand up for me. Like, I want to feel like...
Guys.
Which is okay. Listen.
I disagree with that.
I think it's okay.
Okay.
So what do you think? That she just, runs him and is like, yo, go box him.
So what are we going to say?
Absolutely.
I do.
I disagree.
So two thoughts. Right. I do think that. I think she was like... I think she rolled her eyes and she looked at Will. And,
100%.
Like I said, some people are like, she was sitting kind of far. But conversations between partners can be nonverbal.
Yeah, definitely.
Just give that look and Will knows, Jada, I'll go beat him tonight if I'm not going to beat Chris. Right? So it's better I get up and I go and meet Chris. But I think, every woman sometimes wants to feel like her partner is defending her. But a smart woman will know there's different ways of being defended. Right?
Yeah, but Jada going up there, boxing Chris, the whole works. Do you think
that's wrong? Also, though.
But my thing is, would people look at it the same way as just an assault kind of thing, or were people be like, what, you attacked me personally, so that's what I'm going. So instead of
somebody who attacked your character, that you attacked them physically, I still do think she would have backlash on it.
And a smart person would know that was wrong. A smart person would realize violence of any sort, whether it be man to man, woman to woman, woman to man, or man to woman, is still wrong. That's still abuse. Sometimes I feel like this society wants us to look at males as not experiencing certain feelings and situations. Yeah. But just like how I would feel if a man is hitting me, a man has those same emotions and feelings.
Of course, because nobody wants to be hit. Right?
And it's even a bit more, I don't like to use the word embarrassing, but the ego is even more.
It's embarrassing.
It's embarrassing because it's like, as a woman, we have another caller.
We have another caller. Caller, you there? Hi. How are you?
Hello, caller. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Mississauga.
All right, and your name is?
Hello? You should still be there. Hi. Yeah, and your name is? Jody.
All right. So we would like to hear your thoughts on the whole situation.
So I have a lot of thoughts, and I know everyone's been talking about this for the past couple of days. And I think there's a couple of things. So I think that number one, Will definitely deserves his Oscar, because I think he put on quite a show. That night, I feel like he went up there, he felt comfortable, he felt like, okay,
Is that because you feel like maybe he would feel intimidated?
I think he thought, okay, let me disrespect him, like, the saying, "Don't know who's the frightened."
Yeah.
So he went up there, did his thing, and then, went up, probably thought about it afterwards and said, ooh, that might not have been the right thing to do. Bawled his tears, when he collected his Oscar and tried to put on a good show and made it seem like, oh, I'm so sorry, and tried to compare the situation to what Venus and Serena's father went through, and it was like, really, sir? I don't know. So there's that. I don't think they should take his Oscar if that's what they're really thinking about, because like you guys have said, like people have done a lot worse and have come back.
Yeah.
Like Chris Brown.
Oh yeah.
His career recovery, right? Yeah. But he lost a lot of points and he lost a lot of respect, and I think to be taken as this serious actor, him and Jada have this whole, I guess, persona and this whole, vibe that they're very woke and they're all about love and they're all about this and that and black love and all this stuff, and then to go and do that, like, nah, it's not, it wasn't a good look for them. And it wasn't a good look for him to be taken as a serious Oscar-winning actor.
Agreed.
Thank you.
It wasn't a good look. Thank you, Jody.
Thank you very much, Jody. Hope you have a good night. Thank you. Okay.
Have a
Bye.
good night.
Good night.
All right, thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah, it's something interesting that she said. Don't you know who to frighten?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Because I'm telling you this from now. If it was anybody else, nah.
But that's what she's saying. She's saying, like, if it was like somebody big and intimidating or somebody of a different color. First of all, if it was a white person, you wouldn't even think about it because you'd be like, there's a whole bunch of miscomings coming.
You know what?
That.
He would have done it correctly. He would have done it at like the after party or maybe a commercial break. He would have went to them and said, yo, listen, that joke there, unacceptable.
Yeah, he would have handled it like a professional.
You know what I'm saying? But here's the problem I have. Chris, it's not like Chris and Will are not friends. You know what I'm saying? They're friends.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And they're close friends at that. But you know when you have a crew of people and then the one guy you think is probably soft, you feel like you kind of
bat him up.
Not really necessarily bat him up. You just know that, okay, there's a pecking order, because if it's between, say, myself, Rooms, and somebody else, and Chris, we all know Chris will do his best, but it's not as much.
I'll be honest, Chris has never been in a fight in his whole life.
What do you mean?
Because I'm not saying I'm not a natural fight, because I'm not saying like Will wind it up, but come on, you couldn't even do like, as you said, a reaction, put your hand up or move.
He was probably in shock.
Shock.
In shock what?
He was in shock.
The man came and just went, Drew. But still though,
he's not thinking that that's gonna happen. He was in shock.
Nobody did.
But I'm just saying, Dream, if you raise your hand at me or Mr. I Am or Lady Shay, the reaction would have been,
because you're in enough fights.
But that's what I'm saying.
You too, Dream. You've been in enough fights.
Yo, but
you know,
that's what
I
I'm
haven't
saying.
been in a whole bunch of fights, but like I was the
But
first
that
person.
reaction-
I was the first person to say, to be honest with you, just as instinct, I would probably have hit back.
At least
you know,
step back a
they
little
say
bit
that
or
you
do
either
whatever.
have
You
to
see,
fight.
But then that
okay, but you guys have heard fight or flight, right? He had the
flight.
Yes, where he just didn't know what to do.
But okay, let me ask you.
No,
guys
he did not know what to do when he got boxed. He's like,
but
his one more leaned to the side. I was like, yo.
But listen, we all saw the clip. The box that Will gave
It wasn't even
was
that
very,
very white,
soft.
Yeah,
it was very
soft. It was soft. I'm sorry.
You heard the thump. At the end of the day,
you
the
barely
box
even
that-
see.
Remember,
The
he
box
wears a
that
mic.
Will-
He wears a mic, so you're gonna hear the thump. Yes.
The box that Will delivered. I'm sorry, because it all looked like it was a. They went to what do you call it?
soft or hard,
stunts class.
soft or hard or whatever. If he's coming up, I would have went. At least
Both
a
of them.
reaction to be
Yeah,
like,
but you're
a
not
duck, or put your hand up.
expecting it.
When you're not
This
expecting
is
it.
what we're going back to, Rooms, is saying you're not expecting it. You're probably thinking he's coming up there, especially if you just seen the man laugh.
You just seen him laugh.
Yeah, he's probably coming up there to say something about you.
No. But you have to understand. He saw the man laugh, and he saw Jada's reaction, and then that 10 seconds
But
that
maybe
we
he
did.
wasn't paying attention to
Nah,
it.
he paid attention because that 10 second that went away the camera, whatever Jada signaled to Will, whatever, for Will to come up. And what did Chris say? Chris like, Will's coming up here. And then, I swear, come on.
Okay,
man.
I'm going to disagree with you. I don't like the 10 seconds and the possibility that Jada said something. Listen,
We all know Jada
No, but
said
Jada
something.
said something. Jada, stop it.
Jada didn't
said
say
something.
anything. I'm
Jada
telling
said
you.
something.
Jada
Jada
said
looked
Jada
at
didn't
him.
say anything.
Something occurred in those 10 seconds.
Let me tell you this from now.
How you going to go from laughing to the man joke to
Let me
thumping
tell
the
you
man
this from
down?
now. I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. This is what happened, right? And I'm telling you, Oscar, the truth. I don't think Jada said or looked at Will and said,
Of course
I
you did.
moved. No,
But you know
Yes.
what you
Hold
said?
on.
You also said that there's, a non-verbal, like...
Non-verbal,
This-
yeah.
okay, so
Communication.
This is what happened. This is what I believe happened, right?
Right, no.
He laughed. Now, not a lot of people were laughing at the joke at the same time. Some people grin and whatnot. He saw Jada cut his eye, look, and then look back at him, and then cut the eye again.
That was
That's-
making a
So
That's what-
that's the
that's
verbal,
what-
that's
but
the
that's what-
non-verbal communication.
But my thing is that, Mr. I Am, you will know your significant other.
And know
so,
what
so,
that
so if
look
your
means.
significant other, even if you're eating something or you're doing something wrong, that's if I give you an eye, or
You
your
know.
parents. You know,
Yeah.
your parents as a kid be like this.
Yeah,
If
there's-
yo,
there's-
just
there's
give you that
certain
look.
looks.
You know.
Not in the clip that I've seen. Maybe it's from a different angle because there was another clip that just surfaced that
Yes.
Jada was laughing.
No, Jada was laughing after the box.
After the box.
But what I'm saying is, but
Delilah, man. Delilah spirit.
all I'm saying
The
is,
spirit
all I'm
of
saying
Delilah.
is, all I'm saying is, maybe there is their love language. Who knows? But what all I'm saying is that for
At the end of the day,
them to,
I want to know what kind of...
Whatever.
Where would we... What is that?
Whatever.
Physical
What
touch.
language is that?
box and complete, box and complete.
I love when he box up on
Box
my-
and complete.
That shows me that
Love
you love
language.
me.
That's like her words of affirmation right there.
Yeah.
Box and complete. That's what it's called. So, but all I'm saying is that what happened is that all I saw was cut eye, turn, look back at Chris, cut eye.
And
Not at
and
Will
Will
point.
Will
She
you
looked at Will.
Yes, she did.
I'm telling
but
you.
how you know that you were
I'm
there the
telling
10
you.
seconds?
Okay.
Yeah, but we also
see the 10 seconds?
It
also
makes
may
sense.
not have
Did
seen
you
it
guys see the 10
though.
seconds?
Okay. Even I like where
You know what
you're,
I'm
I like where you're going, but
Come on.
even if she didn't look at Will, watch this. Me and Dree's right beside each other. I'm laughing. Now I can see, preferably right here, if Dree's gonna be doing a reaction or something, and if that's happening, I'm like, I feel it.
You know.
I mean,
I'm going
you
up
know,
there.
but
You said you stopped
listening to what everybody's
Yeah, but he
saying.
had to do a
Is
reaction.
maybe-
Here he goes. No. Think about it. Think about it. The whole entanglement, the whole this
No.
and that. Yo, Jada's just like, yo,
Then say
you're
that.
Maybe he felt
Say
bad
that.
for laughing.
No,
Maybe that's
but-
what it was at the end of the day, and he had to
felt
try
bad
to
for
make
laughing.
up for. Yeah, and
But
then he had
that's
to
exactly
make
what
up
it
I feel like
for
Jada looked at
laughing.
him and said, "Yo, if you
don't do nothing,
something,
it's a wrap.
on.
It's a wrap.
on."
But who cares? Who cares if she has alopecia? There's so many women out here that
And
have
that's-
alopecia. It's
but
not
that's the
that
That's
problem.
why I
serious.
say
But that's why
it
we're
goes
here.
to what Will is battling within himself.
Right.
That
Then say that.
all of that it goes back
This
to
whole
Will
signal
going-
smoke screen.
But that's where it starts from.
But that's where
But-
it starts from.
for the 10 seconds, did you see?
But listen,
Did you-
Okay, but let's
but
let's
even
not
for
get
that-
caught up in that. Let's not get caught up in that because there's so many things that we didn't see that we don't know
And we
what
can assume.
exactly.
Well, at the
and
end of
that's
the day,
my whole thing
I
is this
guess we're going to
conversation
see
will
on
be
table
on.
talk if they do that. But at the
They
end of
talk
the day,
about, and I'm sure she'll talk about it on Red Table Talk. She'll be like, I looked at Will and I gave him that look like if you don't do something,
Well,
It's on.
we'll
You know what I
hear it-
mean?
We'll hear it if she does.
that's what she'll, I'm sure they'll talk about it. But again, like I said, it all goes back to whatever Will is battling. Because you're only in control of your own self. You can only
it had
regulate
nothing to-
your own.
So you're saying it had nothing to do with Jada?
No, I'm saying
Oh,
Jada,
she thinks that it
Jada
has
can
to
still
do
be
with
an
Jada.
instigator, but it doesn't
Yeah.
mean that he had to respond to the instigation.
Right.
You're responsible for your own actions.
Okay.
Of
so
course.
all
Right?
Good. We're on.
You're responsible for your own actions.
Yeah.
but
So-
Jada
At
still
the end
did
of-
because if I have a feeling,
Yeah, but-
if Jada would have just laughed with Will the whole works, that would never
But you know
I
what?
almost guarantee that would never have happened.
Rooms, if you really think about it, at the end of the day, he was either damned if he did or damned if he didn't. Because he laughed about it. If he didn't laugh about it, then it wouldn't be as serious to her. But she obviously feels some type of way about her alopecia. And I get it. You know, it's not something that either male nor female want to happen to them. So it was a sensitive topic for her. But we do have to understand that, you know, realistically, it's one of those things where it's like, what his joke wasn't that serious. Like, it wasn't that serious, and we can continue to try and give, you know, either Will praises or try to bash down on him and say,
Right.
like, you know, his response wasn't good. I personally don't think it was the correct response, but what is happening outside of what we've seen?
Yeah, you're responsible for your own actions. You have to learn some emotional regulation.
Absolutely. Nobody can force you to do anything, and
So
nobody
at
can
the
force
end
you
of
not
the
to do
day,
anything.
it's gonna have to be him who
reconciles
figures this
stuff.
out.
Yep.
You know what I mean? But he does need to leave the one named Jada. Like, yo, that needs to-
I feel like that hasn't been working for a while, and he just needs to be
Yeah.
able to cut his losses, and that has nothing to do with what
She's-
You know,
she's very
you know why that would
Hollywood.
never happen? You know why that never happened? He's in love.
Yeah.
He's
Did
in
you
love.
say he's a simp?
He's a simp.
He's a
Simple.
he's
He's a sim.
a little bit.
No, 100%. 100% he is.
Is that what you call those men that like to be dominated and get spanked? What you call
No, that's not
What
the
you call
same.
them?
You
What you call
That's
them?
not
And
the
they
same.
dress in chains and mouth guard
No,
and
no.
and the balls in their mouth.
No.
What you call them?
No.
That's a gimp.
That's a cute.
A gimp.
A gimp.
Yeah, him.
He's a simp.
Yeah.
He's calling him a simpleton.
No, it's like, yo, he's the
calling
one
him
with the
a
ball and
simple.
chain in
You
his
know,
mouth.
I don't know. Because even when you look at Will's
And whips.
children, you know, the first one, I hate using the word normal because everyone's
Nobody's
definition
normal.
of normal is different. But
Nobody's normal.
Will's older son is very different from the younger two.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes,
The
absolutely.
influence of Will's older son's mother it's visible. You can see the difference between
Oh yeah.
But,
the
but,
parenting
but, but,
styles.
but they all traveled and all.
But you can
lovey-dovey,
still
right?
see
yeah,
it.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Jada's very Holly weird, I find.
Yeah, I
You
mean,
know what I mean?
Okay.
They're very different because they were
Very
brought
different.
up in two different households.
So I so that's why I always bring it. I bring it back. I bring
Will
it back
Smith,
to
go
Jada.
find work, man. Go find work.
You can't
Well, I
find
see-
one.
I
Well,
think
I was
he's
about to
been,
say, it
I
seemed
don't
like he
think
has
that
to do
that's
that,
what the
but
problem is. He needs
no one
to go
ain't suing him,
look
so-
a next woman.
Yeah.
He needs to look somebody who's not going to.
Who doesn't have the
you
Delilah
know.
spirits?
Yeah.
You know who he should go for?
Because she's got some
Neil
big
Long.
energy.
Neil Long is my girl. Yo,
Oh,
you
that
know
was
Neil Long?
but you think Nia's gonna want him now? Because
No.
unfortunately,
No.
Will,
No.
like you said,
Will-
you know,
Will-
I
We'll
love
mess it
Will,
up.
but he's a
That's
little
right.
bit broken.
Will.
He's a little bit broken.
Will has turned me off. I couldn't be with Will. Will
turned
has
off.
turned me. I'm turned off from Will. Good looking man, you know, very successful, all of this, but
Yes, light skin.
I couldn't. Wow, that's a war show. Listen,
What about it?
Nobody even understands what that means except for anybody.
But there's a few people listening who understand.
Who? Like who? About light skin.
But yeah.
Anyway, we all know like he shouldn't have done it. That's
He
a
shouldn't have
soul,
done it,
right?
yeah.
It's like the wrong timing. You're doing it when you have, as I said, a black director. You have like everything going for black people for the Oscars.
Yeah.
He went up there, boxed someone when he shouldn't have done that. You know what I mean? I think Chris is whack because I think he should have.
You just think he should have retaliated.
That's just me, right? But anywho,
And I think of course Will was wrong.
I think there's a time and place.
Will was wrong. I think Chris was smart.
nah.
He was not whack. Chris was smart. Will was wrong. And I think they'll figure it out. It's not the end of Will's career.
All right, all right.
Thank you so much
So anyways-
for calling in, callers. It's been lovely. And
Yes.
everybody listening, thank you. I feel the love in the house. You know,
Right.
first
Once
time
again.
in here.
Yeah.
Yes, Lady Shay in the building. Finally,
Right?
Physically here.
Once again, we'll sign off. It's your
All
girl,
right.
Miss Jareen.
You know it's your boy Rooms.
Mr. I Am.
First Lady Shay, thank you. Zone 6 Bar, Restaurant, and Lounge. And Showbiz. Honestly, it's been a blessing. I'm feeling the love being back in the 6 right now.
Yes, sir.
So thank you for everybody who called. Thank you for everybody who listened. I had an amazing time.
And we
I hope
out.
you guys did too. Have a good night.
So you're ready? Where the white at?